Listen to this, all right? Keep your house clean, all right? Protect your health and increase your value to the world, all right? You want to have a great life. That's it. Those are the three things, right? Keep your house clean. I'm not just talking about like cleaning up, making your bed, keeping, doing your dishes, that type of thing. The house clean. Keep the mindset clean. I obviously want you to have a clean house, but keep your mindset clean. Protect your health and increase your value to the world. Just focus on that. And I am telling you, everything opens wide up. Now, I'm going to read this because I think this is important, and it comes straight from Earl Nightingale, and it says this, and I truly, truly, truly believe this wholeheartedly. You are, at this moment, the sum total of all your thoughts up to this point in your life. Let me say it again. You are, at this moment, the sum total of all your thoughts up until this point of your life, right? The brain controls it all. Right? But the interesting thing is we have something called genetic inheritance. Do you know what that means? What that means is you've got this beautiful brain here, right? You've got this chance. You've got this opportunity. You're 1 in 400 trillion. That is the odds that you are a human being, that you are alive right now. 1 in 400 trillion. Conservatively. All right, 1 in 400 trillion that you are alive. That's your brain. But here's your genetic inheritance, right? Here's your thought. Here's your parents' thoughts on wealth, on work, on value, on what they consider to be the key to life, right? It's all boiled in there as you're growing up and as you're going through and as your environment is surrounding you. And you have, right here, you have that free will. You have the ability to make your own choices, but then you've got this genetic inheritance that's playing a part, right? Here's your parents, but not only your parents, it's your parents' parents. It's your grandparents. It's your great-grandparents. It goes all the way down the line. All of their experience, all of the environment that they have made and created and been around and been around and been in. And the circumstances, all of it, that genetic inheritance and your free will, and they're battling. They're trying to figure out who you are. Who do I want to be? But the exciting thing is we do have the ability to make choices. We do have the ability to take action. We do have the ability to set goals and go after them, right? We have, when I say on this show time and time and time again, that we have different brains, right? We have different brains than your aunt and your uncle and your grandparents and all these things, all these people that would love to live a comfortable and secure life and do the 9-to-5 thing and have careers and kind of stay in that rat race. Not saying that they do, but a lot of people do, even in my own family. That's just where it's at. Like, that is their experience. That is their life that they put together. You have the ability to share your beautiful brain because guess what? You become this, right? With your kids, with the people around you, with your family, with your friends, with your business, with the people that work with you. Like, how exciting is that? So you got to share it with that energizing enthusiasm, right? You've got to just look at it and understand that every single day, today, you have the ability to make the choice, to go and provide value to the marketplace, to go and provide value to your community. And how are you going to do that? Well, you just pick up the phone. You go and interact. You learn how to communicate more effectively. You go and proactively find people that are in a distressed situation and you try to solve their problem. That is so exciting. Every day we have the opportunity to do that. Every day we do. But what stops us? All of this, some of this genetic inheritance, right? Some of this, maybe you can't do it. Or maybe it's just, you tried something in the past, it didn't work out, and people are like, hey, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Don't. You've got that beautiful brain for a reason. You have the ability to make these choices for a reason. So break out of it. Take that opportunity every single day to just take some action. Even if it just starts a little bit, just if it's just a little bit of a sprinkle in the beginning to build up that momentum to where all of a sudden you are just fully focused and fully able to commit yourself to your real estate business, to being a real estate entrepreneur, right? It's so exciting. We get to do this, and this business has changed more lives from different backgrounds than anything that I've ever seen. different environments, different cities, different states, different, financial situations, whatever it is. Anybody can pick up the phone. Anybody can be proactive. Anybody can find a distressed property owner and have a good quality conversation with them and start changing not only their lives, but your life as well. So I just want to encourage you at the beginning of the show. This show is going to be bananas. I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest show that we've ever put on to date. But it is absolutely bananas. And once you change that mindset, once you believe that you can do it, once you believe that you can do massive deals, once you believe that your value is worth so much, worth millions of dollars to the community, to the marketplace, that's when things start going. Matt, will you pull up the text I got this morning? Look at this. This is a student, Jemai. He just closed $90,000 assignment. $90,000 assignment. Are you kidding me? Look at that. Look at what he puts there. Look what he puts here. Upgraded my mindset. Upgraded my mindset. How many people need to upgrade their mindset? Let's all just commit to upgrading the mindset, thinking bigger. You know, it's funny, Mike. I went before the show today, I went and drove around Biltmore Circle, right? And Biltmore Circle is like the Beverly Hills of Phoenix, Arizona. And it's these giant mansions and these giant estates. And it's just wonderful looking at these things. And you're like, wow, what a great place to live. What a great neighborhood. What a great area. And it's just upgrading the mindset, thinking bigger. You know what I mean? And it's like that $90,000, you got $90,000 off of one conversation, off of building one conversation because he believed that he could do it. And I'm telling you, everybody watching this can do this. It just depends. It just depends. We're getting into the fourth quarter here. Who's going to play hard? Who's going to play hard in the fourth quarter? This is where entrepreneurs are really made. When all of the distractions of Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas and holidays and vacations and all these things, this is where the real pros play in the fourth quarter. This is when you win the game for the year. All right. So really, really commit to what you can do today to take some action. All right. Welcome to Real Estate Investing Live with Brent Daniels, aka Mr. TTP, aka Mr. Talk to People. I am excited because today we are talking about virtual wholesaling. And I know that this is hitting your brain, just boom, it's hitting you and you're like, okay, yes, I want to be able to expand my business. I want to be able to know if I can go into other markets. I want to know, can I do this from anywhere? Can I live a lifestyle where maybe I live in a different country or a different state and still do business around the country? The answer is absolutely yes. And to prove it, I have brought on to the show the most successful real estate wholesaling, virtual wholesaling coach around the country. Not only does she have an incredible business, but she has impacted more people than anybody else that has taught virtual wholesaling because she is an absolute monster. She is an absolute monster, and it is my pleasure to bring onto the show the Persian powerhouse, Lauren Hardy. Lauren Hardy, come on, everybody.
Hey, hugs.
All right.
The Persian powerhouse.
The Persian powerhouse. Here we go. So, Lauren, for everybody, give a quick recap. When did you start wholesaling? When did you get into it, and why virtual?
Okay, so I actually started out as a house flipper.
Yep.
I started about 9 years ago. I was 25 years old, so if that tells you how old I am. I know I don't look it, though. I don't look it, obviously. So I started because I just did not want to have a full-time job anymore.
Right.
My daughter, Reese, was about 1 year old, and after having a kid, it's funny how your perspective changes. Like, before you have a kid, you're like, yeah, I'm going to be like a CEO of a company one day, and I'm going to like work 12 hours a day, and it's like career. And then you have a kid, and you realize that like corporate life, having a job and having a child is very hard, especially when both parents have it. There's not someone that it is a stay-at-home. Mm-hmm. So as soon as Reese was born, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to figure out how to work from home.
Right.
I got to find something that I could do because I couldn't just not work. My husband at the time, ex-husband now, but husband at the time, you know, he wasn't bringing in enough money to support all of us. So I had to find something that I could do, and I would have done anything. So it just so happened my brother started flipping houses first.
Okay.
He was flipping houses. Yeah, like I think he had maybe 3 projects ahead of me at that time. And he said, you know, why don't you just start doing what I do? I mean, I think you could, you know, do this and work around Reese. I think you could do it from home and still have, you know, Reese home. And I said, you know, we kind of came up with an equation, like how much money would I have to bring in? I always love this number. This makes me so happy. When we factored in what I was getting paid on my salary, which was $55,000 a year at the time, and
living in Southern California.
Which
really means like 5,000.
Yeah, I was broke. Like we were like, and I graduated college, but I graduated during a recession. So we were post-recession in this moment. So like 55 of stable income was actually good.
Yeah.
I had friends still working as like restaurant servers, you know, doing part-time work. So this was, you know, at least I had a steady job with benefits. So we took, you know, how much I made minus like the child care. Child care is insanely expensive, as some of you guys might know. So we took, you know, minus child care, and I factored in, okay, I'll get health insurance with, you know, my husband's plan. And we minused all the costs, and we realized, because at the time I just found out I was pregnant again. So childcare just got doubled. That really all I needed to bring in to be exactly even with having that full-time job was $36,000 a year.
Okay.
That was
$3,000 a month.
So my brother goes, that's like one house that you flipped. One flip in California.
Yeah.
Like you could easily do that. I think you could do 1 flip a year and cover that. Do 2 just to be safe.
Yeah.
So I said, sign me up. Let's go. So
just like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you just start flipping? So you've got 55,000, you got college, you're pregnant, you've got a baby. You don't have a tremendous amount of savings, right?
No, nothing. No money.
So how do you go into flipping houses?
Okay, so I literally had no money, nothing in savings.
Right.
So my brother Dustin gave me some coaching programs. He had 2 coaching programs, and back then they used to come in CDs.
Yep.
So it was like a binder with CDs. This is like how I'm going to date myself.
Mike and I know this.
Yeah, this is what it used to be like.
Yeah,
it's like this binder, CD kind of thing. And I listened to the CDs on my way to work and back. Like that's all I really had time. And some at night. Like I would listen to some stuff at night, Bigger Pockets, podcasts. I would listen to a lot. And in about a week, I finished my first course. And that course was so well done that I really had all the tools.
Who was it? Do you
It was
remember?
Mike Cantu. So I interviewed him on the Wholesaling podcast.
Yeah.
He's local in my territory.
Got it.
So it was great because it was very local. It's very like relevant for, you know, flipping houses in Southern California. So I listened for 1 week and I figure out from that course, okay, I'm going to do direct to seller marketing. I'm not going to look on the MLS.
Okay.
And what that looks like is direct mail. So direct mail costs money.
Yeah.
I didn't have that.
Yeah.
So then I had to think, okay, well, where am I going to get that money? And I called up Capital One and I got my credit card limit increased as much as I could, which I think at the time it was like $11,000 was like my max.
You're putting it on credit cards.
Put it on credit cards.
Oh my God.
I was like, all right, I got my marketing budget. Here we go. So.
And you're sending mail in Southern California?
Yes. But this is when people, Brent, this was 9 years ago.
Right.
People weren't doing mail.
Right.
So, or not a lot.
Right.
So my first marketing campaign looked like this. I did exactly what Mike Cantu did. I did everything he did. Note, guys, if you are ever buying education, just do what the coach says.
Right.
I copied his letter word for word. I even used the same font. I used the same envelope style. Everything looked the same. And I found someone on Craigslist to hand write the addresses so they looked personal, because this was before all those machines were out that would do it for you.
Yeah.
So I found someone on Craigslist to do it. I think I don't know, maybe it was like 50 cents a letter, something like that.
And they would handwrite these letters.
Handwrite it, and I'd get it back from her. And she'd even put stamps.
This is somebody local? You just found somebody
Found someone on Craigslist, yeah. And I got the forever stamps, like the Disney Pixar ones. So it looked very, very personal. And I just started mailing letters. So
to who?
I got a list of absentee owners.
Got it.
That was it, just absentee owners.
Non-owner occupied.
Yep, thinking that these are rental homes, you know. So I start sending to, and I remember I was so scared. Let's talk about limiting beliefs. I was so scared to flip a single family house. For some reason, a condo
Sure.
was in my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because condos in California were cheaper at the time. I could probably get one under 200,000 if it was distressed. This is at that time, not anymore.
No.
But at that time, whereas a single family home, I was more like going to pay 300,000, and that really scared me. And so I'm admitting, like, I had limiting beliefs and fears.
Sure.
So I marketed to condos because that's like what my comfort level was. And I just started sending that to the absentee owners of these condos. And I would just pick cities. I didn't really have a zip code strategy or anything like that. I just picked certain cities. It took me from the day I started mailing to the day I got my first contract signed 4 months. So I was...
That's average, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is. I mean, a different market, and but typically it's, you got to go the 90 days of consistency for sure in anything that you do.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you start seeing day 91, day 90, like these things start going. It was day like 120 to 150 for you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And I'll tell you some of the reasons why it took me so long is I didn't really understand offer pricing.
Yeah.
So this is something that I really stress on, is understanding offer pricing in your area. And I was
Comping.
Yeah, comping.
Deal or no deal.
Deal or no deal.
Yeah.
And I was making offer prices based on this very just generic 70%, take your ARV times 70% minus repairs. That was it. Just an out of the box calculation. I would offer it to the seller. If the seller said no, I'd go, okay, we don't have a deal.
Right.
That's all I would do.
Right.
So I ended up having a stack, and this is before I had a CRM. I would write these on pieces of paper. I call them seller lead sheets. And I would write all the details, the address, seller scenario, what I offered, what they said they would take. And I eventually had this stack of seller lead sheets that were going nowhere.
Right.
Like I didn't know what to do with them. I was like, they want too much money. Finally, after 4 months, my brother goes, well, what are you doing? Let me see who you've been talking to. So he looks through my lead sheets and he goes, wait, what about that one?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it doesn't meet 70% minus repairs. He's like, no, but I don't care. Like, that's a good spread right there on that. Like, the seller said he'd take that, call him up now.
Yeah.
Called him up. The guy still was willing to take it.
Awesome.
Got my first flip deal.
Awesome.
So me and my brother, Dustin, came up with the financing. He had a private money lender that he'd already been working with.
So you squatted up with your brother.
Squatted up,
Yep.
yeah. And we, split that thing. The first, I always say my first deal was bought on the last day of the recession because that property went up 10% in value when I bought it. And so we ended up making $67,000 on that flip by the time we flipped it, and we split it 50-50. So
How'd that feel?
it felt amazing. Now, really what was
You
amazing
covered
about
your
it,
year.
What was incredible about it was I was working a full-time job still. So I was still working corporate, I was making $55,000 a year. So now I just got an extra $33,000 to add to like my salary, in my head I'm thinking salary. So that's the most money I'd ever made in my life, And the other thing was I said I will quit my full-time job when I have $55,000 in my bank account. I will quit my full-time job. So at this point, I am now about 5-6 months pregnant-ish. So I still got some work to do because I really didn't want to go back to work with 2 kids.
Right.
I was like hoping I'd quit on my maternity leave.
Yep.
So luckily, as I was flipping that first deal, we were in process, I think it was maybe in escrow, I had gotten another contract on a very similar condo, almost exact same numbers, made another 65 with my brother, split it in half. I ended up having the money.
And the rest?
So I was able to not go back to work. And I remember the
Ever?
Ever. It was the biggest day ever, you guys. I had imagined this day in my head. In my head, I imagined the day that I would walk outside on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the afternoon outside of my house.
Yeah.
And know what that felt
Right.
like. Because, what does Tuesday in the morning look like when you have a corporate job? It looks like your office building.
Yeah.
You
Always.
know?
Yep.
So I remember that was a big day to call my boss and say I'm not coming back. And they thought it was because I was going to stay home with my kids, but no, it wasn't. I just didn't feel like telling them.
Right.
So that's how I got started. That's the deal that started everything. From then on, big journey. I was local until I couldn't be local anymore. And that's where we can talk about that.
So the marketing channel didn't work anymore.
Correct.
Because people figured out. Listen, doing marketing is the lowest barrier to entry. It truly is, right? I mean, as long as you have some funds, you can send out mail and start, taking some action that way, right? It's not like you have to pick up the phone and call strangers or door knock. You know what I mean? You're sending out mail and you're out there and and you're getting a response. We're getting the response that you were used to.
Yes, yes. And what I attribute that to, and if you guys can take this concept home with you, is that our business is dependent on us getting discounted properties.
That's it.
That's it. So to get a discounted property, you need to be able to convince a property owner to sell to you at a discount, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be in an area where sellers are easier to convince.
Right.
That's a big concept for people to understand. So
do you think that in Southern California, because everybody knows that property values have skyrocketed, that they just
bingo,
they want retail plus?
Bingo.
Right.
And that's happening all over the country in a lot of different markets that weren't like that before.
Okay.
So Phoenix is a perfect example.
Yeah.
There was a lot of seller distress in Phoenix for many, many years. And then Phoenix started heating up. And now sellers are very aware that people are leaving California to move to Phoenix. Property values are going up. So now wholesalers are having a harder time convincing a seller to take a discount. So I ran into that situation. Property values were going up in Southern California. To give you context, Southern California's average house price today is $850,000 in my territory, Orange County.
Right.
So $850,000. You try to convince a seller to take even a 20% discount on that home. This is hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're going to tell you to go pound sand.
Yeah.
So, but if you move yourself, and so what I ended up having to do, as I said, I had two choices, and this happened in 2015. I realized the lake
6
is
years.
drying.
Yeah. Okay.
The lake is drying up. I can either get a job and quit this thing, or I have to find another market to diversify myself so not all of my eggs are in California's basket.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing that because getting a job was my last resort.
Okay.
So that's where I went virtual.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And virtual in what markets?
My first market was Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And the first thing I did was I built houses, ground up construction. That was my first virtual venture.
Yeah.
Which is, it was
Sounds like a
random.
nightmare.
Actually, it was really easy.
Really?
It's flipping that's a nightmare.
Okay.
Yeah, ground up is not that hard because you're buying land, you're getting, an architect to draw up plans. You have a contractor or builder, they call them, to give you a quote. And as long as you don't make changes to the fixtures and finishes, your quote's going to stay the same for the most part. Whereas flipping when you're virtual, the contractor can make some adjustments. The contractor can say, ooh, opened up the walls and didn't see this and didn't see that. So
unexpected expenses.
More unexpected expenses for sure.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then you got into virtual and doing deals and deals and deals and deals, wholesaling.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about today. Because
Yes.
people are going to have questions. Guys, if you have questions, make sure that you're starting to put them in the comments section. Alejandra is going to be pulling out all the questions. That's the point of the show. We're just warming this thing up so that you guys understand the experience that Lauren has had. And we're going to really deep dive into some of these questions. So what markets are you in now?
In 4 markets.
Okay.
And the markets I'm in now can change next year.
Okay.
So,
You're flexible.
Yeah, I'm very flexible.
And you can pick up and move.
Yes. One of the reasons I'm in 4 markets is because 2 of my markets is in a state that's passing the wholesaling legislation that's going to make it difficult for wholesalers.
Got it. Well, you
And-
need to get a license.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we don't even know the language yet. We still don't know where it's going. So I wanted to have, a backup.
Okay.
So
Yep.
yeah, so that's the benefit is you can kind of pick up and move. And the reason I wanted to kind of give you guys like the whole timeline was so you can kind of understand then why I actually ended up wholesaling.
Right.
Because wholesaling was better.
Okay,
In the
go
end,
for it.
it's I was like house flipping. And house flipping, if you're in your backyard, house flipping is very fun. It's very creative. It definitely fulfilled me creatively, which I liked. But when you can't be local, it won't really fulfill you creatively because you can't be there anyway.
You're not feeling it. You're not
not
touching it.
feeling it. You're not meeting your contractor. you're just getting ripped off most of the time. Like there's more problems and headaches than.
Got it.
So I realized like, okay.
Guys, listen, this has been true across the board. I mean, unless you have your own staff that moves somewhere or you really, really, really establish a territory, if you just get in there to do flips in other states, you're going to have to deal with shenanigans.
Shenanigans, big time.
For real.
Yeah, big time. So what I realized is these wholesales, when I was in Nashville, there was tons of builders that wanted land and wanted deals. And so I realized, why don't I just do the seller marketing I normally do and start wholesaling these things? And that's what we did. We started wholesaling and we were doing really good numbers out there. But I realized that I didn't really pick a market with much thought behind it. And Nashville's house prices were coming up because it was going through a development boom. It was the #1 real estate market. So I realized I need to be in a different market.
You think catching it before the boom?
I caught it right. I caught it before.
But I mean,
cool.
now the markets that you pick, are you looking at it before big economic booms, or are you looking for ones that are just going to be pretty much the same and stable for years and years and years?
You can absolutely look at emerging markets. But I like stable too.
Yeah.
Either or. I mean, emerging is gravy, okay? That's like just, all right, if I happen to get lucky and this market's emerging, like fantastic. But now I actually like more stable markets.
Awesome.
For wholesaling.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's crack this thing open. Do we have some questions? Let's start getting some interaction.
I've got a quick question. So I love this story. I love stories like this. So we get a lot of questions about how do you pick a virtual market, right? What are 2 or 3 like that just somebody who's, done some deals and they're looking to go someplace else that they can execute on? What are 2 or 3 or 4 things that you look at to move into a marketplace? Like, what does stable mean? What does emerging mean? Those types of things.
Yeah,
right?
no, I love that question because picking a market is very important. And I learned all of this by making all of these mistakes picking a market. So when, I looked back at the markets and I said, I found the correlations of what, made a market difficult, right? So the first thing that I really like to focus on is more of a gut feel. I'm going to talk about statistics, hard numbers, and gut feelings. Okay? They are both important.
Yep.
Gut feelings are important too, but you also want data to support your gut feelings. So the first gut feeling that I want to know is I want to search for the proof of concept in that area.
Okay.
So I want to be able to, with relative ease, find other people doing what you're trying to do there.
Okay.
So if you are trying to be a wholesaler in where? Bananaville, Indiana.
Yeah, sure.
That's a great example. You probably are going to have a hard time finding wholesalers there because
So what do? You Google it?
you are going to look on Facebook.
Okay.
You're going to look for a local real estate investment association presence. Most markets that have active wholesalers will have a RIA.
Okay.
RIA is Real Estate Investment Association. So I'm going to look for a presence. I want to search for the proof of concept. Number 1, if you cannot find that proof of concept, that's going to be a big indicator that the exit strategy you're looking to do might be difficult there. You actually need some wholesalers. You do. You need some competition.
Well, it's like the classic story of why are all like diamond shops and jewelry shops on the same street? It's because people go there for the jewelry shops and the diamond shops. Like, it's a proof of concept. You can sell these things here. It's the same thing in real estate. You see other people do. People think it's like competition. I want to go into the markets that nobody knows about. No, you don't. I am telling you, no, you don't. Because what I have found, and this has been really interesting, Lauren, is I've had two students that are in smaller markets that literally there's 3 to 5 investors in that market that buy everything and they dictate the prices.
Yes.
And they run wholesalers out of there because they do
exactly
their own
what
marketing.
happens.
And if something comes in, they're like, no, I wanted it, this extremely low price. And then they're like, the calculations for deal or no deal don't work here. It's because you got 3 to 5 people. There's nobody else in there that's like shaking things up and you don't have the potential there. So one thing to really look at is, Are there big time successful people? Are you hearing podcasts with people that are being successful in these markets? Are you seeing YouTube of people? Are you on Instagram? Are you seeing that people are doing things in these markets? I'm telling you, that is a good indication.
Absolutely. So number one, you want to search for proof of concept. Okay. Number two, price point.
Yeah.
So
I love this.
Price point.
We talk about
and guys,
this all the time.
I've had with enough students, you really get a sweet spot. And with enough, I've dived into markets and gone, I don't like that because I don't like the way the seller sounds.
Yep.
There is a big difference, and we're talking right now at the time of filming this.
Yeah.
My opinion could change next year.
Sure. Because
prices change. But at the time of filming this, there is a big difference between a average price point of $200,000 and below and $200,000 and above. From what I've noticed, the sellers in that above $200,000, they don't get themselves in as many situations.
Okay.
There's just less distress in that pool.
Okay.
They've got a house that they value as a little bit higher end, because for most places in America, I mean, I'm talking flyover states, I'm not talking New Jersey and all the coastal states. 200,000 like gets you really far in some states, like say Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Kansas, so you're going to be talking to the more savvy seller at that price point. You're going to talk to the seller that has more options. So I like to stay under 200,000. Also, those markets, usually the rent to price ratio is usually 1% or better. Okay. And that means that you have a buyer pool now of people that are interested in holding rentals. You have a hedge fund buyer pool because they want rentals. You have the BRRRR strategy guys, and you've got your cash flow cowboys.
Is there too low?
Yes. I don't like markets where the average house price is under 130.
Right.
Because it just starts getting real junky.
So I've said this a million times on here. I want people to go after properties 150 and above. I do because the amount that typically we make about 10% on a wholesale fee. If you look at the average around the country, so if you're at 200,000, that's 20 grand. If you're at 60,000, it's 6 grand. I feel, well, I don't even feel this. I know this. The amount of effort that goes into that deal at 200,000 is equal to or less than the deal at 60,000.
Yes.
So why would I want to make the 20,000, not the 6,000?
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And it's funny
so
that
you think there's a sweet spot between 200 and 130?
Yeah, I think there's a sweet spot. I would even say at 150. We're close.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny too that we don't work together at all? We've never compared notes, but I would say 10% as well.
Yeah.
I've found that it's 10% and we had a similar sweet spot.
Yep.
So I think price is very important.
It's because we coach people around the whole country. I mean, we have the data.
We have the data.
We have the data.
Yep. So I think price point super important. So let's review. We talked proof of concept. We talked price point. Okay, so now we still have like a bunch of metros that we could consider. And do we need to be in the metros? Like, is that important? You're probably wondering. So I am wondering. I am sure you are.
Okay.
I did, the analysis, a lot of trial and error. My team is a test kitchen for my coaching program. Right. So we have tested this. And I do like major metros. However, a lot of them are getting real saturated with wholesalers. So I am recommending, as of right now, where the market is today, very, very much a seller's market, you might want to be outside of the major metro, but
on the bubble,
you want to be outside of the metro, but not by too far. So let me deep dive this one.
We got to get to questions soon because
this is my last one. This is my last one. Okay, so we took all these contracts and we put a lot under contract in this territory. We wanted to see if we could sell the real, like, more outskirt stuff. And even if we got a really good discount, so if it was outside of this metro, even 40 miles, whatever, we were locking it up because
40 miles or minutes?
40 miles.
Oh, wow.
So we were still locking it up because the discount, we were negotiating a really good discount. The reason we were getting these leads, by the way, we do TV ads. So we can't control. We can't control. So we were locking these things up, and it was just contract attrition after that, because we could not sell those things to anybody. We could not find a buyer. It didn't matter how low we got the thing for. So we had several deals. So then I took the average of the properties we did sell that versus the properties we had to cancel.
Okay.
Everything we did sell, the average was 14 miles outside of the metro.
Okay.
So
Love
to
it.
give you
Yeah.
a little bit of a cushion, just say 20.
Yep.
You know, because some of them were 20. It was like one.
That's where you find the sweet spot right now.
20, yeah. So
20
20
miles
or
outside.
less. Yeah, 20 miles or less. Like, you don't want to go too outside of the metro is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can still market in the metro, and it depends on your area. Like, you might be in an area where that metro is not too saturated, so try it out. But if it is saturated, go to the suburbs outside. When it's the ones that we couldn't lock up, the average was 44 miles outside the metro. So we were getting ones real out there, and there was just no point. Couldn't move them.
Yeah.
So,
You need the buyers.
Yeah, need the buyers. So that's finding a market. Hopefully I gave enough.
That's good.
That gives you something to work off of, right?
36 minutes worth.
Yeah. Sorry. I want to give some good value on this.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's crack it open. I want to like leave some gaps in there so that there's good questions of people that are actually doing this. Trying to find the right market, or maybe they're in the right market and they're trying to figure out how to squeeze the most out of every deal and get the buyers. So, yes, real estate rod, 10% of ARV, right? So of the fixed up value of that, typically that's what we're going to make. And typically that's what a fix and flipper wants to make as well. Somebody that's going to renovate that property. It's a $20,000 minimum that people want to walk in with equity or with profit from that deal. $20,000 minimum or 10%, whichever is bigger. You know what I mean? Obviously. So 20,000 is the minimum. It goes up from there. And same with wholesalers. So 10% is the average around for a wholesale fee as well.
And if it's less than that, that's an indication you're in a pretty saturated market, and you might want to go outside of the metro or consider a virtual model.
Or you need a lot more buyers.
Yeah, that's true. Or you're not trying hard enough with your buyers. Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Good question, real estate rod. Derek, 150K plus ARV or purchase price?
I'm not sure.
ARV, Derek. So what you're looking at, California Connect, is you want, once it's fixed up, over 150,000, right? So it gives you more of a spread there. So if you're locking that thing up, the way that we look at it is with the different, not with this repair cost map, but with the different markets. If you are above 250,000, you want to be at 66% typically. You could just multiply that. Under that, between 250 and 100 is 50%. And then if it's 100,000 or below, you want to be about 25% with your offers. And then you can sell it for 10% more. Yep. There you go. Bill.
When virtual wholesaling, is it important to have a local presence? Local phone number, local mailbox, local boots on ground. Yes and no. It's funny. I used to say yes, yes, and yes.
Okay.
Yes, local phone number.
Okay.
Local mailbox, only if you're doing direct mail.
Okay.
But a lot of people aren't right now, so it's like, where are they going to see? And I used to say that because Google My Business used to be able to fake it and make it look like you were local. Google's caught on to that. So can't really do that anymore. So that's like low priority. Local boots on ground is very important.
Awesome. Boots on ground. What do you suggest for that?
I want you to have as many wholesaler friends that you can make, because you're going to help. They're going to help you. They're going to JV deals with you at first until you get a big enough buyers list. And I do like having an errand runner. I call this person a runner.
Yeah.
And it's just someone that you pay $20 an hour to
How do you
run
find
errands.
somebody like that?
Craigslist. Sometimes realtors are great, like if they want to make some extra money. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
There you go, Bill. Matt, Mr. America. There he is. Do you lock up the deal virtually and then inspect? And how do you find your boots on the ground inspector to take pics, etc.? So do you lock them up sight unseen?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
how do you make how do you make the decision of knowing what to offer if you don't walk the house, Lauren?
Yeah. Sometimes it can get really hard. It depends on your area. But what we do is we comp homes a little differently.
Okay.
We don't use like an ARV times this minus that.
Okay.
We don't do that. We just look for investor purchases in the area.
Okay.
So I just
Interesting.
zero in on the house. I look on PropStream. We look and we see what are the other house flippers, landlord buyers, what are they paying for homes similar to mine? What we do when we're talking to the seller on the phone is we get an idea of the condition of the home, enough where we can picture it in our head, right? So enough detail where we can kind of see what this house looks like in our head. And
Yeah.
then we're looking for comps that look similar using the tool PropStream. So we will offer what we see other people are buying, other investors are buying. We try to anchor on the low end of that because, of course, we want to sell it to another investor. So we want to make sure there's a spread. But we are not doing the, okay, we see the purchase price around this area should be $80,000. That's what other people are buying minus the wholesale fee I want. Sorry, guys, but we are not in that time where we can dictate our wholesale fee. We are in a seller's market. So instead, I give the seller what I can prove sold in that area. And then I push I push my price when I'm selling it because right now buyers are hungry.
Got it.
So I'm pushing to be the top.
When you're looking on, and by the way, PropStream, you get access to that, ttbdata.com. Check that out. It's a tool that everybody uses.
Yeah.
That's serious. But when you're looking at these comps, though, you're seeing what an investor put it under contract for. How do you know how much they assigned it for?
It depends on the territory, actually.
Okay.
So it's usually recording. Like it's just whatever the city or what they're recording.
No, I know, but they record the
So-
purchase price. They don't record the
Not all-
purchase price plus the assignment fee.
No, not all areas. So some areas it's just what it's sold for the end
Right.
buyer.
Right.
Yeah. So the end buyer price.
Yeah, but
Some of
how do the end buyer price is the price on the contract? We're just getting a fee on top of that price. Unless you're double closing.
No. The
Yeah,
final
okay.
price. And I'm not double closing, but actually that's not how every area works.
Okay.
So it depends on your area. Yeah, some areas you might be seeing, and you don't know, right? Like you don't really know.
Yeah.
But really it shouldn't matter. You just need the seller sees what you're describing. Like
Right.
if you're saying houses in this area sold between 80 and 95,000, the seller's going to look and just see what things sold for. So they're not going to accept 70,000 just because you want
Got
it.
it.
So we stay there and then we try to push the price on the when we're selling it to the end buyer by
Yeah, you got
choosing
it.
maybe the higher comp and then we bid it up. So if there's multiple people interested, we bid it up. So you see how it's really not that important that I get the fine tune number.
Yep.
We don't overthink it. Yeah.
Well, listen, I mean, Matt, the first thing is you want to try to pull that price out of that seller every time first. Every time. And you got to pre-qualify. So you got to know the condition of the property, their timeline to sell, their motivation to sell, and their price. That's what you're trying to get out of them. If you're able to, orchestrate your conversations to pull those out of the seller, you can get that deal locked up without having to see it. You're going to get a good idea of what the condition is. There's going to be some good aerial shots from Google, some good street shots from Google, typically, and you can kind of piece it together and put together what you want to offer in that property based on the condition that it's in. Because if it's in a good condition and you're looking at properties that are total, fire damage, it's just that's a very hard conversation to have with the seller. Well, I could give you as much as this fire damaged house. You know what I mean? So how do you get the boots on the ground inspector to take your pics?
Yeah, so we find these people ahead of time on Craigslist, and we're usually working with one or two in the area at all times. And so, you can find them on Craigslist or even look for a realtor in the area that might be looking for a few extra bucks.
Awesome. Awesome. Chelsea, what are some questions to ask someone to feel out whether you're on the same page, ethics, etc., when you are looking to squad up JV when getting into a new market? That's great.
Yeah, no,
That's a great question,
I
Chelsea.
do like this question because my answer is just funny. I like to look for a friend. So I like to look for someone that I could be friends with.
Sure.
Like I'll meet, say I meet Brent Daniels and I'm like, I would never be friends with this guy. This guy's a jerk.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say that, of course. You know, talking
No
to
one
Brent,
says that.
no one ever says that. Talking to Brent for 5 minutes, you're like, I could be friends with this guy, right?
Right.
So that's what you want. You want somebody who,
Instinct.
you know, like you can feel like, oh, I could be friends with this person. I recommend taking a week and all you do is look for that magical 3 JV partners. Like talk to 20 people and you're going to see that there's some people that are just cagey. They don't want to give information. They're kind of like condescending to you when you're talking to them. You're like, I couldn't be friends with that person.
Yeah, if they try to big dog you or if they try to really control the conversation or control the relationship, move on. There is an unlimited amount of amazing people in this industry. I mean, literally, you could squat up with people in this, in the comments section here.
Yeah.
We do it all the time. Wholesale Hotline on Mondays, we do that all the time. Here, all the time. Squat up, let people know where you live, where you're doing business, and then start, you know, obviously if you're watching the same thing and getting the instruction from the same people, you're going to be in alignment, and that's going to really, really help out. So make sure that you squat up with people that are in the same place that you're hanging out. You know what I mean? It's just like hanging out anywhere else. Just find people that are hanging out in the same place as you and that you can have a really good connection with. All right? And by the way, I need to see, listen, I've only rang the bell one time on this show. All right? 46 minutes in, one time. I want to see some celebrations. If you have locked up a deal, if you have sold a deal, if you have JV'd with somebody on a deal, I want to see it. I want to ring the bell. All right. Yep. Real estate coach, I just got my first sign. There it is.
Yay, ring the bell.
Come on. Crystal.
Good job,
that
Crystal.
Is incredible. Here we go.
Love it.
There you go, Crystal. I am so happy for you. Guys, if you are not subscribed to this, and I know by the stats, 65% of you are. The other 35%, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button. I'm telling you, we put out unbelievable content every single day. Do not miss this. This is the juice that fired up, that good stuff to put into your brain every single day. I want to be in your brain. I want to change up what's going on in there every single day and bring this energizing enthusiasm. So subscribe and like the channel. All right? Here we go. Samantha. Such an amazing coach. It's been an amazing to be a part of her mentorship
I know,
so
yes,
far.
I know, Sam. Hey.
How about that?
Yay.
All
People
right.
watching.
I
Like my
am
program.
telling you.
Cool.
Well, Samantha, thank you so much. There's a nice little testimonial there. That is
Thank you.
incredible. Sam, why don't you put in, where you live, Sam, what's going on, where you're doing business, so everybody can squat up with you in the comments section. That would be absolutely unbelievable. Tell us, where can people find out more information about the mentorship?
Well, I will send you to my main website. It's laurenhardyco.com. So laurenhardyco.com.
Love it.
I've got some freebies on there, and then you can click the link
Awesome.
to take you to the coaching program.
Guys, if you guys are interested in virtual wholesaling, you're already doing virtual wholesaling, maybe you're running into some hurdles, make sure you go to laurenhardyco.com. Check out all that.
Yeah.
I got it right?
You
Lauren
got
Hardy
it.
Co.
You got
there we
it
go.
right.
We'll put it on the screen thing. That's awesome. Thank you, Sam, for speaking up there. Valor University. It's been a while since I tuned in. Are his shirts getting small? Yes. Here's the thing. Like, I used to wear larges, and now I wear ladies' mediums. No, I don't know. It's listen. You get older, you put on you put on some muscle. I don't know, but thank you, Valor University. I appreciate it.
His guns are getting bigger.
Isaiah, hey Lauren, I am based out of SoCal, and I'm just wondering, why don't you do wholesale or fix and flips over here?
That's a great question. So because the margins, so the money I make, my profit is better out of state. So I get to go wherever I want, where, the margins are just better. So in California, I have to do more work to make the same amount of money. Yeah.
Got it. Dominic, if a seller only wants to do business in person and you're virtual, who do you use to negotiate and get contracts signed?
So what we do, we have a very, very good script. So when we've been doing this so long that when we talk to a seller, we've been doing this longer than they have. we have such a good script that we establish kind of that authority, like right then and there, like this is how we do it, this is how it's going to go. So usually that attitude goes away just from script number one. And script number one, there is a free version of that on my website, laurenhardyco.com.
Awesome.
So with that script, usually that kind of breaks down some barriers and they don't have that attitude. If they still have that attitude, you know, maybe they're more traditional, they're more old school, we try to make sure that we're on the same page with pricing. So I will give them a price range and make sure they're in it.
Yep.
Before we waste too much time. And then if we have where a seller's like, yes, and I'm ready, you know, I am ready to sell this property, I do like this price, I just want to meet someone from your company, then we will send that runner or our JV partner down. So if you're working with a JV partner and you've got that good relationship, send them down with your contract.
Awesome.
They should be happy to do that because they're going to make, you know, money off of it. Or send the run, like we're less JV partner dependent because we have massive buyers lists in our territory. So we would send the runner down and the runner is like, hi, I'm from, you know, Sellers Direct. And so, yeah.
Awesome. There you go, Dominic. I think also it's just the setting it up and seeing what's important to them. And, you know, if you have boots on the ground and it's somebody that you've got a great relationship with, it shouldn't be a problem to send somebody over. Yeah. MJJ Smooth Criminal. Hey, Brent and Lauren. Lauren, the best way to find a boots on the ground who is reliable. What's the best way to find them?
Yeah, so sometimes this is trial and error.
Right.
You know, we have had some boots on ground that, you know, just aren't as reliable. But we do it through Craigslist. We put them through an interview process. So we want to see that they're professional. We Zoom interview with them to see like they look professional.
Yeah.
They, they dress nicely to the interview. They're not like showing up in their pajamas. They're good at communication and responsiveness. And it's just trial and error. You know, the good thing about it is if they don't work out on one inspection, you're,
Yeah.
you know, just
Communication, MJJ. Communication. Are they over communicating? And when you talk to them, do they have any energy in their voice at all? Or are they just like, just kind of going around and, hoping things happen and whatever else and just kind of doing what they have to do? No, you want somebody that's got that enthusiasm, has a fire in their belly, is a really kind, optimistic, and they over communicate. I mean, that is so critical to have somebody that's going to text you when you text them back, when you text them.
Yeah.
Like that. That's like 90% of this business is just responding to people and texting them back and calling people back and like getting on the phone with them. So if you can communicate, if you find somebody that's going to communicate and really want to be a part of your team, you're going to win. You're going to win big. Yep. Awesome. Chris, what is the conversation like when you're talking to potential boots on the ground for cash buyer walkthroughs? How do you handle it? What not to do, etc.?
So we train our boots on ground to do the walkthroughs.
Okay.
We let them know, like, hey, this is how you have to handle it and conduct yourself. So what our boots on ground...
Do you do that over the phone? Do you do that in video? Do you do that in person?
Yeah, we'll do it usually like on the phone.
Okay.
So we'll say, so with our process, the boots on ground already met the seller once to get the first set of photos.
Okay.
And then we come back for a buyer walkthrough.
Right.
So if the seller...
So let's just role play a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm your boots on the ground. I'm Chuck.
Hey,
and
Chuck.
I'm in what market?
Bananaville.
Bananaville, whatever. I'm in your market, right? And so Lauren, we've got a bunch of buyers that want to see the property. The owner's still living there. What do I do?
Okay, so Chuck, you are going to be meeting 5 buyers. And before you walk to the front door, I want you to meet the buyers outside, well in front of the house.
Okay.
Get in a little huddle.
Okay.
And get them all together at once.
Okay.
And have a little chit chat with them.
Okay.
You're going to tell them, do not talk to the seller. If you have questions about the condition of the home, you can ask.
Okay.
But do not discuss price.
Okay.
You can ask me, but understand that this is a contract assignment and I don't want the seller to be involved or be confused at all.
Okay.
As far as the seller is concerned, you're our partners in the deal, our buyers in the deal. We'll call you partners.
Yep.
You don't need to get into any detailed conversation. So if they start chatting with the seller and they start getting a little detailed, start, you want to kibosh that conversation.
Should I be around the seller? Should I talk to the seller?
Yeah. So you want to you be the one kind of diverting and talking to the seller. Let the, buyers do their walkthrough, their inspecting. If they have any questions, they would approach you and the seller, ask it. So that way you're there to kind of dominate that conversation. But most importantly, we do not want the end buyers to discuss the price that we've quoted them. So you make sure that you let the end buyers know, do not discuss house price.
Okay.
They can only ask condition specifics.
And what if they tell me the price that they want, or they tell me they want to buy it? What do I do?
Usually they won't do that right in front of the seller. So again, it's
no, like outside, we're like buy our cars, we're leaving. They say they want it. They think, do I just tell them to call you? Do I, what do I do?
Then they have to put the offer in writing and email it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And it's just an email with, this is what we want to offer?
Purchase agreement of their, either their version, or they'll say, sometimes it's just a simple email. These guys are old school, it might just be a simple email, and then we draw up the assignment agreement to really lay out the terms.
Cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Nice try, Chuck. You better watch it.
I know.
Yeah.
Chuck, well, listen. No, but I think it's important to make sure that people understand how to handle it. Chris, what I've always found, if we do, because we do deals in northern Arizona, we do deals in southern Arizona, we do deals in Florida. What I've found is typically if you let the owner know that it's going to be a circus coming through and you're going to try to get everybody in within an hour and get in and out, and it's going to be fast, and then will be out of your hair. First you got to future pace them to do that, and then just having the conversation with the buyers as they're coming in is important. Now sometimes they stagger. You want them there at 10 o'clock. They show up at 10:15. Somebody's already in there. They're kind of checking out the property, that type of thing. Just slow them down and let them understand what the process is. And if you educate them, they should have some respect for you. If they don't, then remove them. Don't give them the opportunity. Remember, if you've got a smoking hot deal, right, which you should, because you've been following and you've been subscribed to this channel and you have been taking the instruction that both Lauren and I are giving, what you should be doing, you should be locking up fantastic deals. These properties will sell themselves. Okay, this is just them doing their due diligence to get eyes on it so that they make sure that they're making the right decision. And by the way, the biggest buyers don't even need walkthroughs. They'll buy it sight unseen, and they'll buy it just like that. They'll tell you that they want the deal because it's so smoking hot. That's how competitive the cash buyer should be for your deals. But if you have to get them in and you have to do this whole thing and you want to get it all bid up and get the most out of it, then just have that conversation with the buyers that say, you know what, I'm gonna be talking to the seller. You guys go check out the property and let me know what you think, or let Lauren know if it's in that situation what you think. Good. Excellent. Derek, just closed my second virtual deal.
Yay!
AK assignment. Well, it's a virtual deal. Here you go, Lauren. You get to ring this thing.
You're one of my prop stream giveaway people. Woo! All right. That's so cool. I remember when I did that giveaway.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Derek. We celebrate you. $8,000 on an assignment fee on this one. That is fantastic. But listen, Derek, for real, I'm going to be for real with you right now. I want a massive deal. Okay? I want a $50K deal.
Keep going.
Okay? So keep going, brother. Push those deals. Find that massive deal. We find what we're looking for, so get those mental antennas searching for that massive deal. Awesome. You did a giveaway?
Yeah, prop stream giveaway.
Awesome.
It was around Christmas time.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it worked for him.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody uses listen, put that TTP data back up there. Everybody uses PropStream. I mean, listen, if you're serious about it, you got to get PropStream. It's a no-brainer. $99 a month for what they get. You get 10,000. You can download 10,000 distressed property lists every single month. You get the comps. You get everything. You get the story. All right, here we go. Edgar, what's your current marketing strategy? Because you mentioned TV. What else?
Yeah, so I'm doing TV right now. I usually like to juggle 2 strategies at once.
Okay.
Because when you start getting too many, it really gets hard to keep your eyes on all of them. So I recommend 1 to 2 strategies.
Go deep instead of wide.
Yeah, because it gets where you start spending money and you're not paying attention to your ROI. And so I'm still texting, and I'm doing TV ads right now, and I'm very happy with both.
Really?
Yeah, texting.
Is that Tony Javier?
Tony Javier. Yeah. Tony Javier's working my TV or doing my TV ads, and
The TV
it's
lead
REM.
generation master.
I
mean,
think
he's phenomenal.
Yeah, his if you want to look and let him know I sent you, it's I think it's remtv.com, something like that.
Okay, we can look it up.
If you just look up TV ads Tony
Will you look
Javier,
it up,
I'm sure
Matt?
it'll come up.
Nice.
And just say Lauren sent you, and he will help you. It's been great for me. Yeah.
Awesome. There you go, Edgar. Edgar, I talk to people. I don't know if you were asking me, but we cold call a lot. Xavier, go ahead.
I've been putting my full-time tinting job on the side for this, but seem to be falling short. I'm running out of funds, and I'm just wondering if there are any good little to no cost marketing
Strategies. Yep.
So are you virtual or not would be my question, because your marketing strategy might be a little bit different when it comes to the no cost. Like if you're not virtual, you could door knock.
Yep.
You could drive for dollars.
Yep.
Like if the easiest, cheapest is driving for dollars, door knocking, cold calling, or driving for dollars list.
There it is.
Like that's your bare bones marketing method, but you got to be local to do that. When you're virtual, you do have to have a bit of a budget. So then I would probably then ask, like, are you YouTube University-ing your strategy, Javier? Because like I could see that maybe you are wasting some money or doing things incorrectly. Like I'll give you an example. I had a student before he was my student. He YouTube University'd his direct mail campaign for I think a year and a half. And
What
then
does that mean? YouTube University.
He went to the YouTube
Right.
University.
So he went and somebody did a video on sending mail.
He
and
would just
followed
watch.
that?
He would just
Got it.
watch YouTube, and,
Yeah.
and he would get different ideas every time he watched YouTube. You know, he'd try this, he'd try that, he'd try this list, try that list, mail this type of mailer, mail that type of mailer. And the thing about YouTube University is it gives you vision, but it doesn't give you direction. The A, B, C, the map. You know, so unfortunately, sometimes I see this. You know, where you went to YouTube University, you might be just throwing marketing dollars away because you're not doing it effectively. But it sounds like he's not virtual, so you could do a driving for dollars. You could drive for dollars using Deal Machine. I know Brent's got a link, and you could door knock, or you could call those people. That would be the cheapest.
Yeah, Xavier, listen, there is, on top of driving for dollars, I mean, find an ugly house, talk to the owner, right? Batchskiptracing.com, you get the phone numbers for 15 cents. Dealmachine.com, you get the biggest discount using TTP. But that's your Driving for Dollars app. As you're going around, you can get all the information on the properties there, which is going to be huge. And then you skip trace it at Batch Skip Tracing, get the phone numbers, you call them. Also, listen, Xavier, go to a meetup group in your area. Go to a RIA. Go to whatever it is where you find real estate investors. Find somebody that is successful at this business, somebody that has a good marketing budget, somebody that has a good team, somebody that has good things going on. They've got momentum. They got the wind behind their back. They're going, baby.
Yeah.
They've got the momentum. What you want to do is you want to say, listen, I would love to call all of your dead leads. That's all. Listen, I will be diligent. I will communicate. I will be in your CRM. I will be putting notes. I will be doing this on my own time. It costs you nothing. All I want is the experience, and maybe split the deal if we bring it in, right? Well, I would definitely split the deal. Make sure that it's valuable to you. But get in there and start going after these dead leads. I mean, we have revived so many dead leads that are in our CRM for the last 6 years. That's like fish in a barrel at this point. We're getting people that were 3-4 years, and the price did not work 3 or 4 years ago.
Right, but it does now.
Oh boy, does it now.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you, you squad up with somebody in your local market that not only you can apprenticeship with, and you want to be like them, and you want to be close to you want to fly close to the sun, which is there, being around that owner of that business that is doing amazing things, will provide value by calling their dead leads and literally just getting into their CRM, tell them, just give me restricted access to your CRM. Just let me see the dead leads and let me call them and let me just see what I can revive. Because I know if I can get people on the phone, I can get you deals. And I want to get you deals so that I can, grow in this business. So that is a strong strategy. A lot of people don't have the courage to do that. They just don't. And a lot of times, even when you do have the courage to do that, you're going and talking to somebody that's crushing it in that market, and they're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I've got that covered, everything there. Get past that thing. Get past that stiff arm. They're going to have, a lot of people are coming at successful real estate entrepreneurs with a lot of different, can I pick your brains? Can I take you to coffee? Can we go to lunch? Can we do this type of thing? You have to get past that force field and be like, listen, I don't want to take you to lunch. I don't want to take up your time. I just want to call your dead leads. Like, for real, I know that I can do it. I know that I can be, and if you go there with enthusiasm and a sparkle in your eye that I know that you have, Xavier, you are going to get those opportunities. Just keep keep talking to enough people till you get that opportunity.
You know what else I thought of? If I were to do this again, because I was broke when I first got started, instead of using my credit card, I would have been a disposition co-wholesaler.
Sure.
I would have just focused on building a massive buyers list, which you can do absolutely for free. All you need is the internet. And I would network with other wholesalers, and I would work their deals and have them bring contracts totally free.
Love it. Dwight, I want to do strictly disposition side. Dwight, come on. Handra,
Did you read our minds?
Look at Handra.
Yep.
She's on it today.
100%.
Yeah.
I knew a guy, his name was Roger. He was our first JV partner out in Oklahoma, and that's all he did. He did no seller marketing at all. He was just a connector. He went to RIAs. He met friends. He made friends with every wholesaler in town, and he just said, hey, give me a shot at working that deal. I see you have a contract here. I think I've got a buyer for it. If I can bring a buyer, do you want to do like a 70-30 split or a 60-40 split? And that's all I did.
Yeah.
And he would move our deals. And it's like free money.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you have, and this is with all certainty, if you have enough cash buyers, you will be rich forever. You will. I am telling you, if you have enough cash buyers and you are able to move these deals and to commit to moving these deals and helping other people in your community move those deals. That's what all the biggest companies, New Western, Keegley, whatever other ones that are out there, the little mini versions of those that are crushing and making $5 to $8 million. There's a guy on the West Valley here that I didn't even know about, and all of a sudden he started doing this a couple years ago, started just like grabbing everybody's deals and putting it out to his buyers. Didn't really get permission, but he was hungry, and just started building up some momentum. Now he's like, multi-millionaire in a couple of years with no experience. Listen, it's just about connecting. It's just about talking and having those quality conversations. You're either talking to the people that own those properties or you're talking to the people that control those properties. And if you've got enough of those good deals to bring to your big, robust cash buyer database, you will be rich forever. Maybe not wealthy. It depends on what you do with your money, but bringing money in, income, that richness, that's being rich. That's money coming in. You can do that forever. I'm telling you. The cash buyer database is the only asset that we truly have in our wholesaling business. I mean, maybe some some procedures and process in that, but for the most part, we pretty much do things similar. It's your cash buyers that set you apart.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Nice, Dwight. Then do it. Do it. So the advice, Dwight, is just start building your cash buyer database. Find out exactly what they want and over-communicate every single deal that comes across you. Send it to them. And be relentless. Be relentless. Wendell, best way to build a buyer's list starting out? Well, the best way is go to ttpinsider.com, ttpinsider.com, and get the cash buyer pack. That's going to show you how to get your first 100 buyers as fast as possible. Boom, there it is. Yes, cash buyer pack. I am telling you, it's the whole instruction manual on building your cash buyers, and then from there it's just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. When you are doing it virtually, where do you go to get your cash buyers?
I think Facebook is a really, really good place to start. The local real estate investment association pages are great. So I would start there and scrape anybody who, says they're interested in properties. When somebody posts a deal, there's usually like, I'm interested.
Yeah.
You want to reach out to those people. So that's totally free.
Yep.
A ninja move that a lot of people don't know about would be gosection8.com.
Yep. Oh, I love it. Can you put that up, Matt? Gosection8.com. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. You just
made
go,
me excited. I was about to steal your thunder.
Yeah,
Go.
that's fine. Steal it all you want. This is your show.
No.
This is your platform.
This is your ticket. Go ahead.
So go to gosection8.com and you search by city there. And what that is it's anybody who has an available rental that is Section 8 approved. So those are landlords. I mean, you're reaching those landlords directly. And these are usually professional landlords that want to buy more of that type of property type. So reach out to every one of them and see if they're interested in being on your buyer's list.
Let me show you a little priority. I mean, a little what would I call this? Ranking. I'm going to call this a ranking, okay? When you get a deal, the least somebody's going to give you for that deal on an assignment fee is going to be another wholesaler. Okay, that's the least that you're going to make on that deal. Because usually you're going to JV it or they're going to commit to it and then they're going to add it on top. Okay, so first there's wholesaler. And then there's fix and flippers. They're the next one. They'll pay you a little bit more. They're doing these work. They're doing the thing. The next one is portfolio buyers, right? Somebody that's going to be a rental buyer. So the reason I'm showing you this ranking is if you want to get big, fat, juicy, amazing, heavy deals, sell to people that are building their rental portfolio.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what the Section 8 buyers are. The great thing is every single listing you click on in Section 8 has the landlord's number on it.
Yeah, it's like right there. Yeah.
It has their phone number on it. They have to put it into they have to publicly post their phone number for it. So you call these landlords and see if they want to buy more in that area. Even better, when you're looking and you're in a zip code that you've got this property or this area or this city or this town, then you can go to gosection8.com, filter out all the people that have these listings in that area and call them up. You're buying in the area that they already have rentals. Wouldn't it be great if they can go check on their rental here and then drive around the neighborhood and go check on the rental in the same area? I am telling you, it is so. Is Go Section 8 in the No. Okay.
It is now.
It is now. Yeah. Wendell Wilkins. There you go. So gosection8.com. Phenomenal for getting good, big buyers database for sure. Yep. Just got my first deal locked up under contract. 140K ARV is 300 to 315. Buyers are kicking the tires. Well, first of all, congratulations on getting your first deal locked up. Real Estate Rod. If you want to put in the address, I'll pull it up and take a look. But if ARV's 300,000, those numbers seem very, very, very strong to me. I feel like maybe if the buyers are kicking, one, you don't have enough buyers, but two, if it's a smoking hot deal, it should be flying. People shouldn't be kicking tires. You got to check that ARV or the repair costs.
Yeah, and how many buyers do you have on your list?
Yeah.
Maybe you're advertising to the wrong buyers. This is more of a flip. Maybe, you're looking at maybe you're in front of a landlord buyer that's not that interested in this type of property in this neighborhood. We need to know more information because it looks like a good enough spread. But it's funny because I was comping one for my YouTube channel. I was doing how to comp a house or whatever for a video today. And I had this exact example. Yeah. The ARV was 275. And we got it under contract for $100,000. So I was like, oh my gosh, we should hotel this thing. But then I'm looking and I see I have flipped comps that are 275, 265, like tons of comps. And the crazy thing is everybody's buying these properties for 80,000 or less. So it could be this specific scenario. It's near a historic district. Yep. I'm not sure yet if there's been argument whether the property falls on the line or not. Yep. And if it's in a historic area, it could be that it's going to be the repair cost that's going to drive this up because historic areas drive up your repairs. Yep. So it could be a nuance, Yep.
If you want me to deep dive it, put the address in. I'll comp it in 2 minutes.
Oh, thanks.
There we go. We love having you here, girl. Sasha, thank you so much. Sasha's a great supporter. Yeah, she is. And she's that in real life. Yeah.
Aww.
It's not like the cameras turn off and she's like terrible. Lauren, how do you personally calculate your virtual deals?
Yeah, so we touched on that a little bit. I mean, honestly, I'm just looking for what other investors paid in the area. So this last example I just gave is a perfect example of something where I go, well, we got it under contract for 101.
Mm-hmm.
The ARV is 275. But when I deep dove it, I look and I go, why'd we put it under contract? Because there's not one investor that paid more than $80,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to have a discussion with my underwriter to see what he was thinking on that. And I think he was thinking ARV, like, wow, there's a huge spread. I think we should just lock it up. So really, I think you got to default to what are investors paying in this area for properties. There are some areas, though, that will give you the run for your money, where especially like in the East Coast, where there's older homes like Baltimore, where the houses are kind of different. Like you've got row houses and you've got single family. I mean, there are some that no joke, we cannot, like we can't make sense of the comps. Like they're all over the place. We'll just look at this estimate and go, okay, what's like 60% of this estimate?
Yeah.
And just offer that to the seller and see if they'll take it. We just offer really low and just see what happens.
I'm telling you, MJJ, 66% at 250 and above, 250 to 100, 50%, 100 below, 25%. You're going to be really close.
Yeah, you're going to be close.
Be really close. And what you can do is take the averages, go to Zillow, go to Realtor.com, go to Redfin, get all three, add them together, divide by 3 to get an average, and times it by 0.66, 0.5, 0.25. You're going to be in a good spot. I'm telling you, there might be some nuance there, but that's going to work like 90% of the time.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yep.
When in doubt, we're like, all right, let's just throw something out there, see what sticks.
What is wholesale?
Oh, okay. So wholetailing is when, did I say that at some point today? Probably. I did. Okay, sorry for not explaining. So it's when you get a property under contract and you decide you are going to close on it yourself, and then you are going to just put it right back on the market with very minimal rehab. So you might be cleaning it up. Some people consider, a carpet paint a wholesale. Some people just flat out just clean it up. And you're putting it back on the market. And the reason instead of doing that, then rather than direct to your buyer's list, is that you might get more money because you're going to get the exposure of just a traditional buyer who wants, a house that is at a little bit of a discount, for them. That's maybe what their budget is for that neighborhood. So it might work for like a traditional just homeowner. So often wholetailing can really work for people, and it's a great strategy. It really depends on the deal in the market. Like if the property needs too much in repairs, we wouldn't want to wholesale it. There's also some markets, believe it or not, everybody argues like they think wholetailing is like the golden ticket, and that if you put something on the MLS, you're absolutely going to make the most amount of money. Not true. So if you're in a very saturated market, you're actually going to make more money if you have a really good buyer's list.
Yep.
Because then you don't have all the fees, the realtor commissions and stuff. Well,
and just remember, AKCK2. When you wholesale, that means that you're taking ownership of it. So remember, you got to turn on the utilities, right? So you got to set up all the utilities with the utility companies. You got to get property insurance on it. You've got to purchase that property with you got to have the cash to be able to do that. So are you going to get private money? Are you going to get hard money? Do you have the funds yourself? Is that readily available? Are you going to partner with somebody? Does that partner want 50% of the deal if you bring the money? So there's a lot of factors that go into wholesale. Typically what I find with wholetailing is people that have a really well-established business, they've got a really healthy bank account, and they close on these deals themselves, or they get a good terms with their private money lender where they're not giving up a lot of the profits on that deal. So there's a lot of different factors that go into wholetailing and owning the property and putting it back on the MLS. The other thing is educating the real estate agents once you put it on there, that they got to come correct with a cash as is offer. You also have to offer them 2 to 3%, depending on your market, to get them to bring you the buyers. And so you really have to look at all the factors, look at all the costs, the agent cost, the closing cost twice, because you're buying and selling, or you're buying it and you're paying the typically when we're buying one of these properties, these discounted properties, we pay all the closing costs with the seller. So you're paying that, you're paying the real estate agent, your hard money fees, all of these little things, your insurance premiums, your deposits to turn on the utilities, all these things factor in. And what I have found, typically, depending on the market, if it is not double what you're going to make from a wholesale, stay away from it.
Yes.
Stay away from it.
I've rarely found a
Like
hotel.
that, Mike likes that.
Honestly, I've rarely found
Right.
a hotel make sense.
No.
I've rarely, it's more fresh on my mind because there was one that crossed our desk that I realized we should have, but rarely.
Listen,
Yeah.
I see wholesale as a really, like, if you are in a situation where for some reason some snakes have infiltrated your buyer's list and they're constantly and consistently trying to go behind your back and go to that property address and talk to the seller and do all that. I understand if you want to keep everything quiet and close that deal as quick as possible. Nobody knows about it. You're not putting it out to the market. Close that deal, and then you want to put it on the market to do it, or to leverage if you don't have a buyer's database. If you don't have a cash buyer's database, that's why you would wholesale.
Dang, snakes.
Quick question about wholesaling. So how much time should you expect to have your money tied up if you decide to wholesale, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. I mean,
Yeah, it depends.
you definitely have to. Typically with wholesale, you got to clean it out. So
Yeah.
that's a week. And then you got to put it on the market and you got to negotiate it. And typically, if you get an offer right away or multiple offers right away, they can close in a couple weeks.
Right.
Or just keep the escrow open at the title company. And that's what I suggest. If you're going to wholesale, keep the title insurance policy open at the title company. They'll have all the information. It's going to be a little bit cheaper for you, and they'll transfer that to the next buyer. But it's going to take probably 30 days, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just if you get an offer, quickly.
Yeah.
And that's the 30 days in a loan is about 1%. Typically, private money, hard money lenders are going to charge you 12%, which is a percent a month. It's easy math, right? Now, you might be able to get something easier than that, but as you're starting to build your reputation, they're going to start you out at 12 or 18%. Yeah.
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 I actually, if this is legal in your area, which you would want to check, I'm more of a fan of just listing your contracts on the MLS.
Say that again.
Listing your contracts on the MLS.
So listing like doing wholesale on the MLS,
Yeah.
where you're going to open up a Pandora's box.
I know. I just thought I would drop one.
Yeah,
in there
thank
that
you.
Nobody thought of.
No, I mean you can list it. I mean it depends on if
It
the
depends
MLS
on. It has to be
allows
illegal. It
And-
has to be illegal. Yeah.
And it has to be in with the regulations of that actual MLS.
yeah.
Yeah. So if the MLS allows you, oftentimes they'll allow anything if there's a listing agreement. So you have to do a lot more paperwork if you're going to list it on there, or have it in your agreement, or just talk to the local MLS and see what they require if you get a deal and put it on the MLS. But now, I mean, talk about educating agents.
Yeah,
I mean-
it's a process. It's a process, and it's something that it's a strategy.
Yep.
So a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Something to consider.
Yeah.
We have more questions today than ever.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Yay!
All right. Look at that.
Cool.
Hey, will you hold on to veteran buys properties real quick? So the first, I know that you're probably holding these questions back because they're probably coming up a lot, but are those shoulder pads?
I've been working out lately, and these are my shoulders.
Oh,
everyone.
stupid.
These are my.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. Anyway, not shoulder pads. All
How
natural.
come nobody asked me if these are shoulder pads?
Yeah, veteran
these
buys
questions.
properties. Lauren, what's your cold calling module look like? Do you do this?
Okay. Well, first thing before I answer, I want some funny questions in there. So
Yeah.
feel free to ask me about my shirt size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. There you
All
go.
right. My cold calling module. So, me right now, I like to juggle two methods at a time. Cold calling for me in my area was getting very saturated. So, I focused on texting. So, at the time, at this minute, I'm not cold calling. But I was cold calling literally up to like a month ago. And I decided I would rather do the TV ads and have that same person on my team that was doing the cold calling. He's now answering the ads live. So we basically just switched. Yeah.
Yeah, and having two strong marketing channels is a lot. I mean, it
It's
really
a
is a
lot.
lot.
No,
So,
it is. Yeah.
You got to make sure that if you're going to do cold calling, go deep into cold calling. That's what we do, and we've done it forever, right? And that's just been our bread and butter, and we've gotten the leads, and we've got the process, and we've got incredible phone prospectors that we pay $20 an hour for. And have had for years and years and years and years. And what I'll say is, if you're getting started, a lot of my students are doing virtual wholesaling, and they're getting into different markets, and they're getting excited about that, and they're just picking markets and testing them. So what I say is, grab 300 addresses in 3 different markets, call each one of those, and get a feel for what those conversations look like. Get a feel for, is the tired landlord list completely, like, are they getting 25 calls a day? You know what I mean? And then, but in this market they are, but in that market they're not. That's where I would focus your energy. So I love it. Veteran buys properties because you can test a market today. Like, literally, you can pull those 1,000 addresses from PropStream, get them skip traced, call them, the 300 in each different market, and get an idea today which market that you want to get in. I think it's a great way to test.
Absolutely. And I mean, we made a ton of money cold calling, so don't get me wrong, but it is something that you have to be deep in it.
Yes.
Any marketing campaign you do, you need to be 100%. So 2 is hard. It is hard because we're kind of 50-50, right?
Yeah.
I'm splitting my attention, and it is hard. So cold calling is one of those things you do have to be 100%, and I just could not dedicate that given all the stuff I had on my plate right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Real quick, guys, for any virtual wholesaling resources, if you'll pop that back up, LaurenHardyCo.com, LaurenHardyCo.com. Literally, nobody has coached more people virtually than Lauren, one-on-one. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, you'll see. You'll see.
Yep, I've seen it all.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I've seen it all.
Yeah. Okay, Dustin, what do you do if it's your wife telling you to stay in your lane? Can't you just be happy with what you got? And I have no idea how to put my thoughts and feelings of what REI can do for our family.
That's a great question. I think that goes, what's your wife's mindset? Like, what kind of family did, what did her parents do? What is her career? It could just be like her psychology, that she's just not comfortable with entrepreneurialism.
Yep.
But I think that, I don't want to get into your marriage, but I think that it's important that, you guys support each other. And if this is something very important to you, that you stand firm and say, this is something I really, really want to do, and show her, testimonials. A great place would be looking at Wholesaling Inc. on Brent's TTP page, and then my Virtual Investing Mastery page. Just go to virtualinvestingmastery.com. Scroll below. We both have tons of testimonials. So a lot of those testimonials are like giving real number figures. You can have her maybe just say, listen to 5 podcasts. I'm going to give you 5. So you need to get her 5 podcasts that she can listen to. And they better be good. You get to choose them, okay? So make them like ones where somebody was did really well, and make her listen, and I think after the 5 podcasts, she'll get indoctrinated. Yeah. So,
Dustin, here's the thing. We have 168 hours in a week. If you've got a full-time job, you're doing that, and this is like the part-time thing. A couple different things. Is there a track record of you starting things and not completing them? Or is there a track record of you getting excited about things and not taking action on it? What I would say, and maybe it's not, maybe this is just you've always wanted to do real estate and it just hasn't really, the stars haven't aligned. But the stars will never align. The fact is, if you go out there and you get a list, you just drive for dollars and get a list of ugly properties and start calling those owners, and you talk to 200 of those owners, you're going to get a deal. And you're going to make 10% on that deal on average. All right. That could be depending on where you live. And when you bring that check home, when you show that you've been calling these people and door knocking and finding opportunities, and you have an unbelievable optimism and unbelievable work behind that, and you're taking action every single day, just a little bit, sustainable, real action every single day, I am telling you, that is going to make all the difference in the world. The proof is in the pudding. I can't tell you how many friends Mike and I have grown up with that would put on Tony Robbins and would put on in the real estate market, in real estate investing, in everything, that they would put on the Tony Robbins. They would put on the Grant Cardones. They would put on the Gary Vee. They're feeling great. They're getting pumped up. They're getting excited. They're doing it. They're like doing the affirmations. They've got all the stuff written on the walls. They've got it all going. Never talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Never talk to anybody. They never take the action. They never push that thing past they never build the courage up enough to build momentum and enough confidence to just pick up the phone and try to have a conversation and stumble and fumble and fail forward and then find that opportunity. 200 people you talk to on a distressed property list, distressed property owner, you will get a deal. Prove it to her. That's the thing. She's just saying, prove it to me. Like, this is all fugazi. It's all fake. It's all pixie dust, right? From the Wolf of Wall Street movie. But it is. I mean, it is in a lot of people's mind, and a lot of people think that when you watch things and you get inspired by things and everything that somebody's trying to sell you something, or they're trying to work on something, or they're trying to do something here. So there's probably a protective barrier that your wife has. So just show her that you're taking the things that you're learning, you're implementing it, and you're winning. And winning leads to more winning. Yeah. And you're going to do it, Dustin.
Yeah. And I think to battle that, like, analysis paralysis, if you surround yourself in a coaching program, I'm not just trying to sell coaching programs. I'm dead serious. Like, there's a technique I want to get into right now. And I have all the resources.
What is it?
I want to syndicate deals. I want to syndicate larger commercial deals.
I love it.
And I know I have the money. I have private money. I've got all the resources. I have the know-how, but I really need that tribe. I really need the tribe of people that are at my level that they're trying to syndicate deals to, and then I need to see one of them do it, and then I need that. I need that support.
I love that you said at my level. Because you've had to work to increase your levels from doing nothing, working a 55K job, and a mom, and going through a divorce, and having two beautiful little girls, and going through all this, and getting up to this level now where you want to syndicate deals. Yeah. And that's what, 5 years? 6 years?
No, I've been at this 9 years.
9 years.
So yeah, I'm a turtle. But my goal, I'm like,
that's fast.
I mean, I feel like I'm a turtle.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, I feel like
you're gonna live another 100 years.
For sure. And I'm only 35, so I got a head start.
Right.
But I have my next goal. And I'm like, I know I can do it, but I need a coaching program because I even have a course that tells you all how to do it. I know how to do it. I know I need a coaching program.
Right.
And so now I'm looking for one. So even we look for coaching programs, because we need that network.
Nathan, hey, Brent, I have a property closing this week, and I'll collect $4K. Thanks for everything. Come on, Nathan.
Awesome.
There we go.
Congrats, Nathan. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, whoa, another one. That's really good. That's awesome. Lou Jeezy, awesome.
I love it. By the way, guys, if you're on IG right now, Alejandra is monitoring the comments, kind of. Oh, she's looking at me like this. Well, she usually does, but we're getting a lot on the other. Yeah. So anyway, congratulations, Lou Jeezy. That is phenomenal. 20K deal all day. Make that your minimum standard. Make it that your minimum standard is you're looking for 20K deals every single time, and you will find it, or more. but make it the minimum standard. That is phenomenal. That is great. 20K. Dexter, go ahead.
I love a vacant list. That's my favorite go-to because it's only usually like 1,000, 1,500.
Read the question because some people just
sorry.
in their pocket. Yeah.
What list would you recommend pulling from PropStream when going into a virtual market for the first time? So I love a vacant seller list. I that's kind of my first go-to. And then I love an absentee owner list, a non-owner occupied list.
That doesn't work.
No, I love it.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I love an
that one's
absentee owner.
It's too competitive.
I love it. Nope,
No.
it's not. It's you've got tired landlords. You've got people ready to retire. I love that list so much. It's like my favorite.
Awesome. There you go, Dexter. Fernando, I'm looking to get started in Fresno and Stockton, California, but most of the buyers that I talk to say that they only buy at 70% of ARV. Do I need to find better buyers or do I need to lock it up at 70%? That is totally a lie.
That's totally a lie. How many deals have they done?
Fernando,
Ask them.
Listen, Fernando, that is somebody that is not
a deal.
That's not somebody you want to work with. So the second part of that question is you answered it. Do I need to find better buyers? Absolutely. Listen, I am telling you. Well, and it just depends. Like 70% of ARV, is that just 70% of ARV, or are they doing the 70% minus repairs? You know what I mean? Because 70% of ARV is not bad, but we're selling our properties right here in Phoenix, and I have students in Fresno and Stockton selling it up to 80 to 85% of ARV for real. Like, that is real data. That is real text messages sent to me, seeing the numbers that I comped with them and what they sold it for, 80 to 85%. So I would say that's absolutely silly. I would look at what is the inventory look like in your market, which basically you could go online right now, see how many active listings and how many pending listings they are, divide them by each other. If it's less than 3 months, you've got a phenomenal market, and you can push values. Yeah. Awesome.
Agree.
There you go.
I concur with Brent Daniels.
There you go. Jay Ram, what reasoning would you give a seller in SoCal that is aware of the spike?
Jay Ram, when you're talking to every seller in California is aware of the value of their home. They just are. So you need to be able to have comps that are supporting the offer price that you are offering. And if you don't, then you really aren't the seller's best option. So go virtual. Go virtual. Like, there's no reasoning because I want it. Like, what reason are you going to give a seller who's aware of the property values? You can't convince a seller to do something they don't want to do. And in Southern California, when the seller knows that they could go on the MLS, they could just talk to their realtor and they could put the property on the MLS for $750,000 and get an offer in 7 days. Or they can sell to you for $600,000. Why would they sell to you? You know, so that's why I left California.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's interesting, J Ram. You know, you're not going to convince anybody, especially, you know, the way that you phrase this is very interesting because what reasoning would you give a seller? And my business is different than Lauren's. I don't give any comps. I don't give any reasoning. I don't do anything. This is the offer that we're going to give in Phoenix here. So and listen, SoCal is much different. It's a much different price point. Once you get into over 600,000 in our market here, you run into these conversations where you have to get real analytical and look at it. And really what you're looking for is deals that you can buy at retail, but the land and the opportunity is worth more. You can build onto it, or it's a multifamily. They have a single family, you bulldoze it. So it's really the potential of turning over neighborhoods in that area. Or adding on to the neighborhoods in that area that you're going to find your biggest success. But with us, we're deal finders. We're not deal creators. So if you're giving reasoning on your offer, you're going to lose in Southern California. They're just going to chew you up. They just don't care. What's their motivation to sell it? That's first. What's their motivation? Believe it or not, and this is crazy, there are people in my market that will sell us properties and want us to make a fortune on it. They don't care. They don't care about the money. They don't care about, we had a gal that sell us a property for $9,000 worth $220. We had another
Wow.
gal sell us a property for $19,000 worth, $150,000. Like, some people just don't care about the money. If you talk to enough people, you're going to find those opportunities. They're going to be big deals, but they're going to be few and far between in Southern California. You can still find it. What I would highly suggest, this is what's been successful with my students, is vacant land. Multifamily that's tired and older, but you can give them retail, and the potential profit comes from renovating all those properties and getting higher rents for them and adding on to buildings or new construction. Those are your three ones there, and you can get those from Driving for Dollars. It's been the best list in those very high priced markets. I'll just say high priced because
Right.
whatever, competitive, congestion. I don't know. Those terms to me bother me because you run across things, but you run across opportunities if you talk to enough people. But if you're trying to do it through marketing, you better have $1 million behind you in marketing in Southern California.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because
for sure.
there are 20 people that have $20 million in marketing.
Yeah.
Here we go. What's the minimum population size we should be in?
Some people will say 150,000 in the county. I like to say 250. You can even combine counties, so like pick an area that there's there's some growth, or you
Awesome.
can start slipping into the metro.
Yeah. Freddie, I don't like anything under 500,000, to be honest, because with our technique of calling a lot of people, you have to have big lists. And I don't want you after year 2 to run out of, you've already called these lists, you've already been through them, you've skip traced them, you've done that, and then you got to expand to other areas. So I like for the technique of for TTP to be in 500,000.
Yep. I call that list anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Juan, seems like the best time to have gotten into the business was 5+ years ago. Totally disagree, Juan.
I think, a lot of people are questioning what's going to happen in this real estate market.
Yeah.
And, we are, some people might say we are at the top. We don't really know. But man, if it does adjust, you got in at the perfect time because you're smart. You know what to do now. You know how to take advantage of that opportunity. You have perspective of, like when I got in was at the bottom.
Yeah.
I had no perspective of what I was getting and the deals that were smacking me in the face. I had no idea because I came in and everything was cheap. It was the recession. Real estate didn't have that much value. People were dogging real estate. If I was in just 2 years before, I would have gone, oh my gosh, the same house was $700,000. Now it's $350,000. Oh my gosh, I got to buy this thing now because it's all cycles.
Well,
It's all
Juan,
cycles.
here's the thing. I've been hearing that since 2004 when I got into this business. 99, the 90s were great. Oh, my gosh, that's when all the best deals. And then, now the market's going crazy. It's the best time. Oh, the market crashed. That's the best time to buy because it's the lowest that the properties are. Oh, it's getting too congested. I've been hearing this thing since 2013. I've been hearing that wholesaling is dying. Wholesaling is shriveling up. As soon as I was getting into this in 2013, it's too competitive. People know too much about it. There's too much mail going out. There's too much door knocking going on. There's too much blah, 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 blah. It's just noise, Juan. You either got it or you don't. You either take an action or you don't. Just get out there. Have quality conversations. You can't lose. Well, could it go up to, you need to talk to 300 people to get a deal instead of 200? Sure. Could it drop to 20? Sure. It doesn't matter. You still have to talk to people. You still have to have quality conversations. If you're worried about when is the right timing to get into this, it's never. And it's right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the best time is right now.
Yep.
I mean, just get into it.
People were talking about saying things like that in 2006.
Oh, God.
Right now
Bro.
is 2006. It's cycles.
It's 2021.
Yeah,
I've been doing this 17 years.
Yeah, it's
People have been
cycles.
saying this the whole every year.
Yeah.
Every day.
For sure.
Mike?
Say there's a I think it's a Chinese proverb says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
Right.
The second best time is right
now.
now. And
That's
that's for
it.
Juan's personal journey and anybody, right?
That's
I
it.
like
Yeah.
that.
That's absolutely right.
I like that.
Jonathan, can you share your biggest mistake and how you dealt with it?
Oh my gosh, I've made so many mistakes in my life. Holy moly. Do you have it?
Real estate.
you
Real
guys-
estate.
you guys got
we don't-
45 minutes?
We don't have to get into it.
Brent knows one.
Yeah. Listen, here's the thing. Jonathan, I don't know. It's tough to go back and really look at it. I think the biggest mistake that I had was I thought that marketing could do everything for me, and I didn't build up the communication skills once the marketing was effective, once I was getting calls, once things were coming in. I didn't feel like I was able to communicate as effectively as I wanted to. That's why I started to really get into door knocking. We door knocked a ton. I wanted to get more conversations under my belt, and then really took it to the next level with making the calls. So I think the biggest mistake was being quiet and not being proactive. And then once I decided to be proactive, it wasn't even a decision, it was a necessity because I was totally broke. But to be proactive, to go out there and find those opportunities, that's the big lesson that I found. I know without a doubt, if I talk to enough people, if I'm loud enough, I'm going to be able to provide enough value, whether that be with real estate, whether that be with coaching, whether that be with whatever. So I think just being silent and just sitting in with your own thoughts and hallucinating things is the biggest mistake, for sure.
I know my biggest mistake.
Okay.
When I got started, my biggest mistake was that I did not partner with a high volume house flipper in Southern California. So I was little Mrs. Independent woman. I want to do this all myself.
Yep.
I think I just had a chip on my shoulder.
Sure.
And I wanted to prove to people that I could own my own business. I didn't want partners. If I would have partnered with somebody who was flipping, say, 50 houses a year, and I was just doing my role of acquisitions, putting deals together, I would be retired right now. I'd be retired.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be on this show.
Oh, come on.
Swear, I'd be retired.
We'd be worse off then.
I would be.
Glad you
that's
didn't.
true. That's true. But partnering, I was so anti having a partner.
Yeah.
I was so anti collaboration.
Yeah.
I wanted all the money to myself.
Sure.
When really, I would have been doing, I would have been making millions a year flipping houses. Yeah. So partner.
Awesome. Squat up. Amanda C., is this something we can do from another country? Amanda, I have probably 12 absolute killers, absolute unbelievable entrepreneurs that live in Israel that are doing this and doing it very successfully. Like I have, the time difference over there is bananas. Google time in Israel, not right now, afterwards. But they are phenomenal. They're putting in the work. They're making the calls. They're staying up. They're doing this unbelievably from Israel and making a fortune. They're doing phenomenal. I mean, you could go to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast or watch it on this channel and see, a few of those interviews. But it's absolutely incredible. Yeah, you could do it from anywhere. I mean, my callers are in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Most people's callers are in the Philippines or Egypt or Mexico. Absolutely. Listen, 95% of this business, maybe 98% of the business is on the phone. That little bit where, some people want to meet you. Some people want it to be face-to-face, old school. That's the other 2 to 5%. But I'm telling you, Amanda, absolutely, without a doubt, you could do this. Billy Bell, my disposition manager, literally lives in Croatia and Colombia, and he's in Southern California, and he's in Mexico, and he's what? In Mustacheville. Mike's coming up with good cities on this episode, but he's got a great mustache. He really does. But he has made, and by the way, he's on track he's already made $600,000 this year. Okay, he has traveled this entire year, and he gets it all from text blasting, cold calling, and referrals from agents. Yep, absolutely. Listen, this is a lifestyle business once you get it going. It's just you got to get through that 90 days. Yeah. The 90 days push where you're pushing, and you feel like nothing's happening. Like you're trying to eat soup with a fork or something. You know what I mean? Like it isn't working out. You're getting very little results. And then all of a sudden it starts really going and you start really building up the momentum. And then after the first year, 18 months, 2 years of really building the system, then you can get some flexibility and it becomes an unbelievable lifestyle. There you go.
Yeah.
Scott, hey Brent, missed your show last week. I know. Yeah, I was I was coming back from Tampa. But wanted to let you know, closed on a deal with a 37.5. Come on.
Nice.
Scott, we celebrate you. We celebrate you. We celebrate you. Congratulations. Love the flex. Love the thumbs up. I love doing both of those all the time. So 37.5. That's it. Now we just need to just give it that nudge, Scott. Give me that 12.5 nudge. Let's get that to 50. Let's nudge it up there, huh? Awesome. Luis. 2 closing last month, JV, 8K for me. On the third, wholesaler cut me off without telling me, 12K, but lesson learned. Signed JV agreement at first and done. Believe word of mouth. God is watching. That is absolutely true, Luis. I am so incredibly happy for you. Here we go. Here we go. I love it. Congratulations. That is awesome. Second closing last month. Awesome. Kelvin. My wife didn't believe in me being a business owner. She filed for divorce and married somebody with a normal 9-to-5 mentality. I'm closing on a 30K deal this week, working from home.
Yeah.
She works.
I love this.
Well, I'll let you read this one.
Sorry, I love this. This is awesome. Good job, Kelvin. I love it. I'm sorry. This is like revenge body with Khloe Kardashian.
Oh,
vibes.
okay.
It's totally
Okay.
revenge body vibes.
Don't
Kelvin.
know what that means, but I like it.
It's It's just it's
Oh,
just
getting hot.
revenge
getting
body.
hot.
You know,
Got
he's
it.
getting hot financially.
By the way, Kelvin, same thing happened to me in 2009. Divorced, same thing. Wanted somebody that was a 9-to-5, married a firefighter, did that whole thing, and she is also working 2 jobs. Brent, can I get a bell for my 5th deal closed and 121K in assignment fees so far this year? I managed a quick lube 60 hours a week. Oh, I managed a quick lube 60 hours a week for 35K a year before wholesaling for Brian.
That's amazing,
right?
Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
People on here, when you're watching this, when you're thinking about this,
Yeah.
35K working 60 hours at Quick Lube, that's not an easy job.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a grind. You can't do that forever.
Yeah.
Congratulations, 121,000. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. I wasn't even close to 6 figures when I was working, corporate life, and I was working full time. It was a good job. You had to have a college degree and all that stuff, good company. And I mean, I wasn't even close.
Right.
And I've never made less than 6 figures since I went into real estate investing.
No. Brian, congratulations. JJ, please have Lauren on again.
I would love that.
We will, yeah. She doesn't live too far. We're in Phoenix. You're in SoCal. It's like
it's an hour flight.
30-minute flight.
It's super fast.
Yeah. You got it. Deal.
Done.
Deal. Lauren, do you use a VA to call your buyers?
Do you mean, I think I need
To
a
build
little
your buyers list?
Buyers list. We use a VA. So my VA has the responsibility of building our buyers list. She doesn't necessarily call. She'll reach out to them. Like if it's from Facebook, she reaches out via
DM.
Facebook Messenger DMs and stuff. So she doesn't have to actually get on the phone. She can even send text messages. So yeah, she does reach out, but she doesn't actually pick up the phone.
Awesome. Eric G., how do I get a phone number for area state that I'll be virtual in? Like a caller ID number.
Yeah.
What do you suggest?
So I use CallRail
Yeah.
for getting all my numbers. Yeah.
Call Rail.
Call Rail.
RAIL. I don't know how rail would be spelled otherwise. Batch Styler does do it.
Does it?
Yeah, I mean, Batch Styler will get you the phone numbers in that if you are going to be calling. It just depends on if you're doing marketing.
Yeah, 'cause
right?
like,
or if it's like he's doing follow up. I'm assuming.
I think he means
Yeah.
like the actual phone number that he's calling, and like think of it like his cell phone.
Right. So
yeah.
CallRail basically gives you another number. Yeah. Daniel H., why do some markets get super saturated? For example, Phoenix, Arizona. I'm cold calling, and people are telling me they're getting about 5 calls an hour from cash buyers. I understand SoCal, but why Phoenix? Well, Daniel, listen, here's the thing. We have the same. We're calling the same market. This is going to be the biggest year that my business has ever done. Okay? 42K average deal size in Phoenix from cold calling. All right. So just to let you know, it does work. It's just, you got to talk to a lot of people, get through all those. Remember, 199 of those people are going to tell you that. The problem is when we hear that 10 times, 20 times, 50 times, 100 times, we start going, everybody's going to tell me this. And then you find that 1 out of 200 that tells you that they're ready to go because you caught them at the right time. Even when they tell you, I've been called 1,000 times and now I'm ready to accept some offers. That's when you get those deals. So here's the thing. The reason, Daniel, is exactly what I said. I average $42,000 a deal. You average, the deal sizes are bigger in Phoenix. People want to go after them. And that's why we've got a lot of people that are excited about real estate. But listen, I am telling you, and this is for, drive around, Daniel. The day that you drive around, and we live in a utopia, and there's not an ugly house out there, there's not an unrenovated house up there, there's not an unupdated house out there, is the day that we're going to have a problem. There's an unlimited supply of deals out there. You will find them. Do you have to go through more? Do you have to get a lot more rejection? Is it going to take you a little bit more? Is it going to take you more time? Absolutely. Will it work? 100%. So it just depends on how many times people can tell you that to get through it. And that's why most people hire VAs, because they can't deal with that kind of rejection. But if you deal with that kind of rejection and build up your communication skills and build up that thick skin, that rhino skin, that self-confidence in yourself, I am telling you, brother, that boils over to everything in your life. You're going to be like the baddest dude alive. There you go.
Good comment. Good comment. And you know what? Everyone says this market's competitive.
Right. Yep.
Everybody, and a seller, like you might have, like literally that seller got 1 call and they'll say, I got 5 calls. It's like my landlord.
Yeah.
My landlord's like, everything is always times 10 with him.
Yeah.
He's just those people.
Exaggeration.
They just exaggerate. Yeah.
All right. Hi, just curious. Do I have to tell the cash buyer the address before I get proof of funds, or should I tell them after they show their proof of funds from the bank? I never ask for proof of funds.
I don't get proof of funds.
I've never asked for that.
Yeah, you're going to rub people the wrong way if you do that.
What protects you is the $5,000 non-refundable earnest deposit that they have to put with the closing attorney or title company in your market. That is your protection there. That's what shows you if they're legitimate. You don't need to give, like, these guys move so fast.
Yeah.
These buyers move so fast that they're going to tell you they want the deal or they don't want the deal, and they're going to put their earnest money in or they're not. Like, you don't need to go through the whole proof of funds. Maybe you have a background as like a real estate agent, and I understand that. Get rid of all of that training.
Yeah.
Blank slate.
Yeah.
You have a deal. Put it out there, have somebody that's going to commit, get that non-refundable earnest.
In worst case, because we've had buyers not perform before, we just give that EMD to the seller, and then they're actually really happy. And we say, do you want us to take another shot at this? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, worst case, you get another one of these. So, yeah.
There you go. Any tricks on PropStream to find a great virtual market?
I don't think you necessarily need PropStream for that. I think you need to stick with the parameters I said earlier in the show. So make sure
some people just jumped on.
Yeah. So you want to find the proof of concept. So you do that by looking on Facebook and looking for RIAs, looking for other wholesalers in the area. You want a sweet spot. My preferred price range is between 130 to 200,000 average house price in the area. You can find that on Zillow. Zillow has a market estimate thing. And you don't want to be too far out of a major metro. Try to stay under 20 miles or less. You can be in major metros, but if you feel like they are very, very saturated, you might want to find the suburb outside. Just don't go too far outside.
Yeah. Test it. Michael, that's the answer. I mean, PropStream has those heat maps, but I was like doing a training on it.
Yeah.
The whole country's like on fire.
Yeah, I know. It's like everything's hot.
You pull out the heat maps, like where prices are increasing or where, values are increasing or whatever else, and it's all on fire. So, Michael, just test it out. Pick 3 that you want to test. Get 300 addresses and call them, and then just get a feel for that. We're going to do one more question, then we're going to bring the team on, and then we're going to wrap up. So, guys, again, LaurenHardyCo.com. LaurenHardyCo.com. Definitely check that out if you are interested in virtual wholesaling. She's the best of the best.
Thanks.
There you go. All right. Luis, here we go. I love ending on a high note. Look at this. 4 deals done so far this year, squad up and TTP, and I am still working in my full-time business. I found them deals and JV to get them dispo. If Brent D can do it, so can we. That's right, brother. Thank you for this live. Thank you, Luis. Thank you guys all for watching. Bring the team on up. You know who's behind this. This is not just Lauren and I here looking pretty. It is all of us that are contributing and really making this a special show. We've got Matt Hill. We've got Mike Mahoney. We've got Daniel Walker. And we got All Honda merch. Guys, if you are not following them on Instagram, you should. Except for Mike Mahoney. He'll never find him. He is not on social media because he's 87 years old. Anyway, we love you guys. Remember this, and I have it I have it written up, but I'll just go through it again. Keep your house clean, protect your health, and work to increase your value to the world every single day. You're going to live a great life. Lauren, thanks for being on the show.
Yes, thanks for having me. This was fun.
And we love you guys.
For
We'll see you
watching.
later. We'll see you
Bye.
next week.